Welcome to Pack Mates. We're doing our Brothers War set review, and we're on Multicolored right now. So we're going to start off with some uncommons. First up, we
Um,
have Arbalest. Oh, do we want to
we
introduce
should
ourselves?
introduce ourselves. Yeah,
Okay, I'm
I'm
Ryan, the aggro expert.
I'm
I'm
Ant.
Roby the
Oh.
I'm I'm Roby the journal expert.
I'm I'm Andrew, the mid-range expert.
And
Pipe mates.
we are the Pack Mates.
Bates.
Okay. All right.
Got him. Okay.
First up, we have Arbalest Engineers. Arbalest Engineers cost 3 mana, colorless, a red and a green for a creature, human, artificer, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. It can deal 1 damage to any target. You can put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It gains trample and haste until end of turn. Or you can make a tapped Power Stone token. This is the first time we've talked about Power Stone tokens. That's an artifact with tap it, and you can add a colorless mana. The mana cannot be used to cast a non-artifact spell. That means you can use it to cast like artifact spells. You can use it to activate abilities. What else can you use it for, guys?
Uh
That's about it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
You can use it to filter.
That's a lot of things, right? Like
Yeah, non-artifact spells and activated abilities, basically. This card seems solid. It's like a utility knife. At minimum, it's going to be a 3/3 trample haste for 3, which is going to be very good. I think with that as a floor, the card's super good. Think it's a 7.
Yeah, that's where I'm at on it too. I don't think you're gonna use the deal 1 damage to any target, but when you do, it'll probably be okay. I had a 7. I think I'll be making Power Stone tokens on it a lot.
I had it at a 6, but I think it's just really good. I think a 6 or 7 you can't miss on this.
I think 6 is fair too. Yep.
All right, what do we got next, Roby?
I got Battery Bear, which is 2, a green and a blue for a human artificer. It's a 3/4, and it says creatures you control have tap, add colorless mana. It basically turns all your creatures into Power Stone tokens. And whenever you cast an artifact spell with mana value 6 or greater, draw a card. And I got this as a disgusting bomb. Like, I think this is innate. Like, it enables you to do the thing that draws you cards, which is gonna be gross. So I think this is about to be a bomb.
I had this one at
Insane build around.
I had this one at a 7, and I think it's not really hard to get that last ability that whenever you cast an artifact spell value 6 or greater.
It enables it itself, right? Like
Exactly.
you can tap it for mana too.
Exactly. So I think this is definitely a 6 or 7 to pay off for just playing the cards the way the set wants you to with those big prototype creatures.
Yeah, I also have it at a 7. I think it's super good. It's enabling to pay off in 1. It is a little fragile, and you do have to have its build aroundy, but I have it
It's
at
a
a 7.
3/4 though. Like it's not that fragile.
That's true.
Like, like it's got a decent body too. That's what surprised me about it.
It is, yeah. It does have a decent body.
All right, Andrew, what do we have next?
Next up, we got Evangel of Synthesis. 1 black, 1 blue for a creature, Phyrexian human cleric. And it's a 2/3. When the Evangel of Synthesis enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, Evangel of Synthesis gets a +1/+0 and has menace. Forge the future in metal and oil is his flavor text. I just wanted to read that. That would be funny. This guy's pretty decent. It's a really good body for 2. You can't, when you get these dual colored creatures like that, they're always a little above curve. I think this guy's a solid 5. Just does a lot of stuff.
I'm at a 7. I think a 3/3 menace for 2 is pretty good. A 2/3 menace for 2 is definitely above rate. And he loots himself, so he's like a payoff. He's not really necessarily a constant payoff and an enabler, but he does enable once, and then he is a payoff. I think he's a 7.
I have the most boring. I'm at a 6 because I'm right in the middle between you two. I think he never enables himself, right?
Yeah.
Right, but I mean punches and bunches, right? Like the more of these you have, the better they are. I mean, drawing a card is not that hard to like. That's the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, but like
goal of this
this
archetype.
compares so much worse to like a fairy vandal. You know, like something that actually gets a permanent advantage from doing it. That's what keeps me from really being crazy about it.
That's true.
Like this doesn't scale with the game, you
That's
know.
true, but it just gets in for 3 a few times and it
Yeah,
loots. I think it's good.
yeah, yeah. I have it at 6.
All right. Next up, we have Falagi Vanguard. This is 2 colorless, a red and a white for a creature human soldier. That's a 2/3. Has first strike, and whenever this or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. I'm pretty high on this. I think this is
Yeah,
better than a lot of the other ones. I'm at an 8.
yeah. I knew Ryan would be way too high on this. I have this at a 6. It's a 4-mana 2/3. It does get big, but like I don't know.
A
I hate
4 mana
it.
4/3 first
I
strike.
hope I'm
Okay.
never playing this card. I have it at a
Yeah.
6.
You
I
hope
It
you
think
is a
never.
soldier
You
that's
hope you're
relevant.
never playing against it.
I hope I'm never playing it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
have this at a 5. Like you top deck this and then you're just hoping to get something else. You gotta have a steady stream of creatures to keep this thing going.
Oh man, there's some good flash and instant speed stuff, but I'll move it to a 7. But I think you guys are wrong. I'll be the high one on Pelagie Vanguard.
Next up, we have Hero of the Dunes, which is 3 a white and a black for creature human soldier. It's a 3/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, return target artifact or creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Creatures you control with mana value 3 or less get +1/+0. I like it, but I think it might be a little narrow. I probably have this at like a 7. Getting something back is very powerful. And also like the fact that it buffs creatures with mana value 3 or less. That seems like it's gonna be pretty decent, honestly. Like that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I like this guy. I have him at a 5. I think just doesn't not having any evasion is a little rough. I like the kind of regrow effect on it, but still it's like a kind of lesser creature at 3 value. And I like that it has this pump ability that's just 3 value and not tied to a creature type. So that's kind of cool to have. But I have it
Y-
more as a 5.
You're out of your fucking mind, Andrew. A 5? Are you serious? Two
Nah,
three
I
drops?
think
2 3 drops for 5 is a 5?
Man, it's only as good as
it's a 3 drop itself, right? Like
Right.
low
It's a
key.
3 drop and you get another 3 drop.
It's
well,
not actually a
And
3
it's
drop.
a yeah, it's not
Yeah.
actually a 3 drop, but yeah.
But it's like a 3 drop's worth of stats, right?
This
This is
is
like
an
a
8.
horse
The
grave
dude that
digger,
gets a
right?
dude back, it's like, oh man, this is
I
good. It's
I think
an
it's like so aggressively easy to build around though.
Yeah.
Like it's so good to build around. Like you just have aggro creatures, right? Like it just makes all your things bigger.
Like this is
like
the big payoff for your aggro deck, right? This is at the top of your curve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's just a 3 mana value or less deck. I think that's what the white black deck is. And
Well,
this
I
is
think
just
that's
like a
just the
super
aggro deck,
good.
right?
I
Like
mean, like kinda, but like it ekes value other ways, right? It's not necessarily just straight aggro, but this card is insane. I mean, I think it's an 8. I think it's really good. A 5, like this is
I
just a
don't
run of the mill card. I don't know. I guess we should have went over our scale too, but
know. Yeah.
0 is super unplayable. 5 is average. 7 is premium removal. 10 is amazing game winning bomb that has to be answered. That's about the
Yeah.
scale. All right. This is you, Andrew.
Alrighty. Then we have Junkyard Genius. 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 red. A creature human artificer, and it's a 2/2. When Junkyard Genius enters the battlefield, a creature create a tapped Power Stone token. And then for 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 red, sacrifice another creature or artifact until the end of turn. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 and menace and haste. I feel like I'm going to forget about the haste every time on this. Um, but wow, this is pretty decent. I think it's a 5. I mean, it's a good payoff for the sacrifice, and you get to sacrifice creatures or artifacts, which is really nice, and it ramps itself. Maybe I'm convincing myself it's a 6.
What are you at? 5 or 6?
6.
Okay. A 2/2 that makes a Power Stone for 3 is like a 5, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. The thing is going to be good if you want it. Menace is nothing to scoff at. +1/+0 is nothing to scoff at. And haste. Like, it's all good stuff. I think I'm at a 7. I think I oftentimes rate a lot of the uncommon payoffs as a 7. So
Yeah, I have this at a 5. It's just a worse version of the red green one. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
wrong. Skyfisher Spider. 2 colorless and a black green for a creature spider that's a 3/3. Has reach, and when it enters the battlefield, you may sack another creature. If you do, destroy target non-land permanent. When it dies, you may gain 1 life for each creature in your graveyard. If you do, exile it from your graveyard. So, little bone splinters on a stick, 3/3 reacher. I think it's gonna be very good. I give it an 8.
Yeah, I have it A. It's so good, right? I also like that the exile ability is a May ability. Like you
Yeah,
don't have to exile it either. Like if you have like regrow effects or anything like that. Like I like that. I think it's pretty good. Like I'm pretty high on it too.
Yeah, I'm pretty much at a 7. If I could have a 7.5, I'd have a 7.5. It's, I guess it'll verge on 8 just to kind of go with you guys, but it has reach. It destroys a non-land target permanent. So
Anything, right?
yeah, it
Like that's
destroys
so good.
anything, which is just so good. And then so random life gain or whatever is really nice too. So this guy's awesome. Yeah, 8.
All right. Next up, we have Third Path Iconoclast, which is a red and a blue for creature human monk, and it's a 2/1. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. This is the payoff for your red blue decks. I think this is like a bomb. This is like 8. This is disgusting.
I'm with you. It's an 8. Young Pyromancer was good back in the day. This guy's gonna be real good.
agreed.
Yeah,
8, solid
yeah,
8.
solid. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Jotun Descendant. It's a 1/4, 1 green, 1 white for a creature human artificer. And it's a 1/1. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's pretty good. I think this is going to be really strong. It's going to be the payoff for that really aggressive strategies. This works well at prototype, keeps things going. I think it's definitely a 6, and you can put it on any creature you control, which is really nice, even late game.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 6 with it. I'm not super impressed with it, but like Power Stones putting counters on creatures seems pretty good. So I'll give it a 6.
I'm actually at a 7 on this. Like, I think I'm 7, like, even leaning a little towards it. I think this is just as good as the last card we just saw. Like, I know you're not making bodies, but like moving the counters around and everywhere. Like, I think it's gonna be super impactful. Plus, it's like every artifact that enters the battlefield, too. Like, I think there might be ways to like cheese this and do some really dumb stuff with it. Like, I have it
I,
at 7. What
next we got what's up?
were
What's
you
up?
were you gonna say something, Ryan?
I mean, like I just think it's not. I just think it's like a little bit less than the other ones, like artifact
Yeah,
spells. You
you're
kind
not
of have
making
to
the
build
body,
around,
right?
and like you're not gonna have as many artifact spells in your green white deck. I think, but maybe you will. I don't know. The
Yeah.
body's a 1/1. The body's off curve, but it does turn all your like power stones and like all your like random unearth cards. Like
Yeah.
it can go crazy for sure.
Yeah.
I just think it's more build aroundy than some of the other
Then the
ones.
last one,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
Because like the 2/1, if you get like 1 or 2 bodies, that's like really good.
It is good to compare those two cards, yeah.
Right. Like
The red blue one's for sure way better, but
yeah, yeah. And so like this one, if you just get 2/1/1 counters, then it's like decent. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
if you trigger this twice, it's decent. If you trigger this twice, it's very good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm just a little lower. But I do think like you can still definitely do degenerate stuff around it.
Yeah, if you have like 15 artifacts in your deck, which
Yeah.
I don't
With
think will be that
unearth.
hard. That won't be even be that hard, right? Like
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
many artifact creatures everywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
some will have unearth and it'll be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There'll be
yeah.
times where that like wrecks you for sure. Next we have Yoshin Tactician. This is 2 colorless, a white and a blue for a creature, human soldier. It's a 3/4. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1. I'm super high on this. I think it's gonna be good. I haven't got to do super relevant statistics yet, but I know there's a ton of soldiers in white, and I'm sure there's a ton in blue. Um, it's a 3/4 for 4 still, and it's not a legendary. I'm at a 7, leaning towards 8.
I'm at a 6. It's good. It's really good. I just don't know. The other ones we saw were so strong. It's hard for me to put it at 7. But
yeah, I'm at a 6 for this. It's going to be solid.
it might be a 7. I don't know. We'll have to see.
All right, let's move on to the rares.
All right, next up we have Deathbloom Ritualist, which is 3, a green and a black for a creature elf warlock. It's a 3/5, and you can tap, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. This is a trap. This is a hardcore trap. This is like a 4, maybe it's a 4. You shouldn't. It's not even good. Yeah, that's my.
I rated it the same way. It's a 4. There's not the payoff's not going to be as good as you'd want it to be.
I think with everything costing 7, 6, 7, and 10, the good stuff costing that much, I think it's fine if it taps for like 2 mana. I think it's like a 5, maybe a 6, but yeah, I can see why you guys are down on it.
I would go up a little bit if it had any like Death Touch. This card needs like Death Touch.
I mean, I think a 3/5 blocks a ton of stuff.
Yeah, but
You want to tap it
it's a
too.
bad
Yeah,
5 drop, right?
it might be a 4. I'm going to start off higher than you guys, though. I think it will be better than a 4, but I wouldn't be shocked if it goes down.
All right, next up we have Hajar Loyal Bodyguard, 1 red, 1 green for a legendary creature, human soldier, 3/3. Sacrifice Hajar Loyal Bodyguard. Legendary creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until the end of turn. I have this I have this at a 4 just based on its stats. I feel like it's just a 3/3 for 2, and that's about it.
That's a 4? A 3/3 for 2 is a 4?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
What?
Yeah,
yeah,
double
no,
colored though.
Yeah. I mean, based off its stats, it's like a 6. A 3/3 for 2 is insane.
that's yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
at. I have it
I
at
mean,
6.
yeah, I'm at a 6 just because it's a 3/3 for 2.
3 for 2. That's my only logic
And
behind
it's a
it.
Like, what do you think?
soldier.
Like,
Yeah, it's a soldier too. That's relevant,
I
but
guess the soldier's kind of relevant. I'll bump it up 1, but I mean, really, it's probably a 5. Let's go 5.
Okay.
That's tough.
Next up, we have Harbin Vanguard Aviator. This is a white and a blue for a 3/2, a 3/2 legendary creature, human soldier. Has flying, and whenever you attack with 5 or more soldiers, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain flying till end of turn. This is an insane soldier playoff. Obviously, it's built around it's kind of at the end of the day, it's still a 3/2 flyer floor for 2, which is absurd. And if you ever pop that, you just win on the spot. It's a 9.
yeah, it's like a extremely high 8 for me. Like, this card's fucked up. Like, I don't know why they printed this. This is way too good. Like, yeah, I have it at 8, like a high 8.
Yeah, I have it at 8 just based on stats alone. Like a
It's so
3/2
good.
flyer for 2. We were talking just a
That's so
3/3
stupid.
just a second ago, and this guy has an insane blowout payoff. So yeah, it's an 8.
And if you ever get 5 soldiers, you're fucking people up, right? Like, it's so good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You just win if you
Yeah,
ever trigger
basically.
that. Right.
Next up, we have Legion to Ashes, which is 1, a white and a black for a sorcery. Exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls, and all tokens that player controls with the same name as that permanent. This card's gonna ruin my day. I give it like a 4. No, it's probably like a 7. Yeah, I'm tripping.
That was a
Yeah,
big jump.
yeah.
Yeah, you're about to get flamed.
Yeah, I was wrong. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a 7.
I just
It's
forgot
just
about
if you
it.
can grab the
It
token,
makes me
really
mad
good.
and sad though that somebody could like just get a rare and just destroy all your Power Stone tokens.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
I
does that need to be a thing?
a Vindicate with, like a Vindicate it's kind of vindicating kind of thing, but that just and can, Legions was it Legions in or, uh, Abrupt Decay or whatever the heck it was. Any of those ones that just get the same names. So good. Yeah,
Yeah.
7.
Echoing Decay.
Echoing Decay, thank
Echoing
you.
Decay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 7. Mostly it's just exile target non-land permanent, but if you can kill all of Roby's power stones, it's gonna feel real good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so sad. I'm sad about that card.
Alright, next up is Mishra, Tamer of Mach Fwa. 3 colorless, 1 black, 1 red for a legendary creature, human artificer, 4/4. Permanents you control have ward, sacrifice a permanent. Each artifact in your graveyard has unearth for 1 colorless, 1 black, and 1 red. And of course, unearth returns those cards from the battlefield, and then when they leave the battlefield again, they're exiled, and you can only do this as a sorcery. Um, Wow, this guy's great. Ward's getting better and better and getting more wacky abilities. This is awesome. And the unearthing of just getting all the artifacts back from your graveyard, very good. This is a solid 8, probably a 9.
Which is it, 8 or 9?
I'll do a 9. Screw it.
I'm on a 9. I do want to say unearth, you do have to exile at the beginning of your next instep or if it would leave the battlefield. So unearth, you only get the stuff back for a turn. This is super good 9 builder. It's kind of build aroundy because it's only artifact cards in your graveyard. But sack a permanent to deal with any of your stuff is pretty good. It's a 9.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I might be at 8. 8. I'll be an 8. I'll be the 8.
All right, next up we have Queen Kayla Bin Krug, I guess. Colorless, a red and a white for a legendary creature, human noble, 2/3. You can pay 4, tap it, discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. And then you may choose an artifact or creature card with mana value 1 you discarded this way. Then do the same for artifact or creature with mana values 2 and 3 and return those cards to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So you discard your whole hand. You can take a 1 value artifact or creature, a 2 value artifact or creature, and a 3 value artifact or creature and put them on the battlefield. That seems kind of nuts if you can play 4 cards and then refill your hand while doing it. I think it's kind of build aroundy, but if you're in a bunch of stuff that costs 3 or less, like this is a super good payoff. I'll give it a build around 8.
This card has so much text that my brain just refuses to understand what it actually does. I would just give it a 5. I don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't trust it. I don't like it. I give it a 5.
I think this is a 6. You're gonna get this, and then you're gonna have to really build around it quite a bit in those 3 mana cost or less kind of decks. And if you can get it out, the payoff's really good. You just stop casting stuff and get a ton of value off that. So I think it's like a good solid 7, 6, somewhere on there. Probably 6.
All right, next up, we have Sahili Filigree Master, which is 2, a blue and a red for a Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. Its +1 is scry 1. You may tap an untapped artifact you control. If you do, draw a card. Its -2 is create 2/1/1 flying Thopters that gain haste until end of turn. And then its -4 is you get an emblem with artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and artifacts spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This is a bomb. I have this at like a. This is a it's a 10. It's a 10. It's
Stand behind
real
it. Say with
good.
your chest, Roby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a 10. It makes 2/1/1 flyers. Like that's so good. Like, yeah, it's a 10. It's a
Gosh,
10.
2/1/1 flyers for 4. Oh, that seems so not good.
Okay. All right, Andrew.
You can
All
just
right.
I think it's definitely an 8. I don't think it protects itself in any kind of way. It lowers
Two
itself
one one flyers.
to like it's like
That's how they protect themselves.
and
Yeah.
haste, it's like wanting to attack. They're just goading you into like don't.
You don't have to. You don't have to attack just because they have haste.
And then that +1 ability, you have to tap an untapped artifact you control. Like you have to have
You have a million of those.
even draw one of those. You get to scry
You
one
can.
for one.
You can just tap your Howling Mind. It's
Oh my
fine.
gosh, this felt like some of the old War of the Spark cards that were like an uncommon that scried one. I mean, this is just crazy. 8 just because.
Oh my god. Raise your hand if you would play 2/1/1 flyers with haste for 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's raising their hand. Good. Okay. What if I told you this can do other stuff and do that more than once?
Oh my
All
god.
right. It's a 10. Thank you.
Get
Put
out
it
of here.
in.
It's not like I'm telling it's a 1. I mean, it's definitely an 8, but like, ugh, whatever.
This is so much better than all the other planeswalkers.
Remember
you've seen in, like, the
Lingering
past three
Souls?
sets.
Do you remember
Yes.
Lingering Souls?
This is
Yeah.
better than Jaya. Jaya
takes
just
a lot
makes
of work.
1/1/1.
And you can also like there's a world where you just +1 this and then alt it.
Yeah.
And all your stuff is
Disgusting.
bigger and
Yeah.
costs less.
You know, I didn't even see its bottom ability because I never look at the ultimates because it just never happened.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you're
super
one away. You're
reasonable to
super
get to
close
it.
to
Yeah.
get to it.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, all right. It's a 10. It's 10. It's 10.
Oh gosh.
I just read its ultimate.
Sell out.
Yeah. Peer pressure, peer pressure.
All right. Next, we have Sarnath Great Worm. 4 colorless, 1 red, 1 green for a creature worm. Surprise, Great Worm is a worm. It's a 7/6 with trample. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone token. This guy's pretty good. I think he's definitely like an 8. Just solid, probably a 9, but definitely an 8 all day.
Yeah, I'm with you on an 8. I think like it's the thing that whenever you play like a land, you get treasures or whatever. I don't think you're gonna get a ton of lands out after 6, so you get a couple Power Stone tokens. But a 7/6 trample for 6 stands on its own, so it's an 8.
I have it at a 9. I just think it's good, but it might be closer to an 8, but I'll keep it at a 9. I like Power Stone tokens.
Next up, we have Thanos the Toy Maker. This is 3 colorless, a green, and a blue for a legendary creature human artificer, 3/5. Whenever you cast a beast or a bird creature spell, you may copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to its other creature types. I don't know how many beasts and birds there are. I didn't do the stats yet. I'm terrible. Let's say there's some. So it's like a 7. It's a 7, but if you build around it, like if it's supported enough, it could be way higher.
I'm starting it off at a 6.
That's fair.
Yeah, because like the 3/5 for 5, I bitched about that earlier. Like, I don't know. It seems okay.
I have it a 6 as well. I was like, if the payoffs are there, but it's still pretty far away to get those payoffs. So
You just need to trigger it once.
If you
That's
trigger it
it.
once, it's like a 7, maybe an 8. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Next up, we have Tocasia, Dig Site Mentor, which is a bam, like a green, white, and a blue mana for a legendary human artificer. It's a 4/3, and it says creatures you control have vigilance and tap surveil 1. And then you can pay 2, a green, white, blue, blue. Exile it from your graveyard and return any number of target artifact cards with total mana value of 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate that only as a sorcery. And it's a 4/3. I think this card's very strong though. I have it at like an 8. Just giving your creatures vigilance and the surveillability so you can like attack in and also surveil with them. That seems pretty good to me. And it fuels itself for the late game. Like, it seems like a decent kind of build aroundy. Not even not build aroundy, just it seems pretty solid.
yeah, this seems really good. It's a great mid-range creature, and it blasts you to the late game, and then you get to surveil. It fuels itself too with the surveilling of that,
Yeah,
and so that's pretty good. And it's a pretty good bargain for like 10 mana value worth of stuff. You know,
for
for
8
8,
mana.
that's pretty good. That's just you just gain 2 mana there, and there's a lot of big honking creatures and colorless that are out there. So I think this is fine. Great. Sucks that you have to get rid of her to do it, but I think it just fuels you into that late game. So
Giving everything vigilance is super real too.
Yeah, that's crazy
8.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 8 too, just because it's 3 colors. If it was 2 colors, it'd probably be a 9.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah.
And Surveil is look at the top card of your library, and you can put that card in your graveyard or
Yeah,
keep it on
my
top.
bad.
You're good. I just wanted to say it since we hadn't yet.
Brand new.
There's probably been things that I've skipped. So
Urza, Prince of Krug. 2 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue. For a legendary human artificer, it's a 2/3. Artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. And for 6 generic mana, no tap symbol, you can just create a token that's a copy of target artifact creature you control, except it's a 1/1 soldier in addition to its other types.
it doesn't even have to copy a creature. It's any artifact. It can
Yeah,
copy a power
target. Oh
stone.
yeah, target artifact you control. My goodness, that's so good. This guy's like a solid 8. Probably even more actually, just because it just feels itself. But let's go to 9. Let's go to 9. Let's go to 9. I like this guy.
Yeah, I mean a 2/3 that pumps out 3 threes is pretty good.
Yeah, it's nutty.
I'm at a 9. Yeah.
I'm at a 9 too. It's nutty.
All right, next up we have Blade Coil Serpent. This is X and 6 for an artifact creature serpent. That's a 5/4. And when it enters the battlefield, for each double blue that was spent to cast it, you can draw a card. For each double black spent to cast it, each opponent discards a card. And for each double red spent to cast it, gets +1/+0, trample, and haste until end of turn. So the X doesn't really add counters or anything to it, but it can let you do these multiple times. So double blue to draw, double black to discard, double red to give it +1/+0, trample, and haste, and you can repeat those as many times as you want. I think this card's going to be super, super good. It's just going to be solid wherever you put it. I don't know that's necessarily going to win you the game on the spot, but it's going to be super scary. I've had it at a 9.
Yeah, I have it at a 9. I like the X being there. So you can just like tap out
Yeah.
super late game. That's kind of cute. Like, yeah, I think it's going to be real flexible too.
Yeah, I think these are the kind of guys you want to see. These pay X into it, get a bunch of good abilities. It's great. 9.
Next up, we have Clay Champion, which is X and a 4. Clay Champion enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each double green spent to cast it. And it's an artifact creature construct 2/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, choose up to 2 other creatures you control, and for each double white spent on it, Clay Champion puts a +1/+1 counter on each of them. It seems pretty good. I probably have this one at like an 8. It's basically like a 4 mana 6/8, so it's just a big dumb beater. That's how I see it. I don't know. It might be more of a 7, but I'm not sure.
I feel this is in that 7 category. It's just a big guy. Not to say a big guy for 4 isn't very good, but I think just a 6/6 for 4 is probably really good actually. But or actually even more than
No, it would be an 8.
an
Yeah,
8/8
it would.
for 4.
8
8,
for 4.
4,
That's
4.
magic. That's double.
Never
That's
mind,
4
it's an 8.
forests.
Alright, never
It's
mind.
an 8.
That's
Yeah.
4 forests.
Alright.
That's not an 8/8 for
This
4.
is a territorial.
I'm gonna make this an 8.
You don't have 4
Yeah.
forests.
I
Oh,
feel like you're
wow.
gonna. I feel like there's a monocolored sub theme under here, and I think that's very possible. This is 8.
This is a 5/5 that puts 4 counters on 2 other, or like 2 counters on 2 things. It's still
That
super
seems so
good.
good.
Yeah, it's an 8.
uh, Urza, Lord Protector. 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue for a legendary creature, human artificer. 2/4. And artifacts, instants, and sorcery spells you control cost 1 colorless less to cast. For 7, if you own both, uh, if you own and control Urza Lord Protector and an artifact named the Might Stone and the Weak Stone, exile them both and meld them into Urza Planeswalker. Activate this ability only as a sorcery. Well, this guy on his own is just all right. You really these meld cards are going to be the dream of just like the pack opening dream, I guess, or the sealed dream. I don't think you'll ever really see that payoff unless, oh my goodness, unless you're just super lucky, I guess. This guy's like a 5.
Yeah, I'm with you. 5, making all your stuff cost 1 less on a 2/4 is pretty good, but I don't think you're ever going to be able to meld stuff.
I think he's like a 6. I think you're gonna be happy to have him. It's just like a strictly worse hottie Jin. like,
Way worse.
Yeah.
yeah, but it does make your artifacts cost less, right? Like that's. I have it at a
Yeah.
6. You're gonna play it.
And
You're
it's
not
2
gonna not
colors,
play
not
it.
a flyer, and weaker, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Now when you melt it, it's like an 11, right?
Yeah. You
All
can
right.
never
I
meld
don't.
it.
I haven't even looked at the backs.
It's
I haven't even
ridiculous.
meld cards. I'm
Ridiculous.
sure
dude.
it's just like it should be
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
All right, next up we have Mishra claimed by Gix. This is 2 colorless, a black red for a legendary creature, Phyrexian human artificer. It's a 3/5, and whenever you attack, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of attacking creatures. If this and a creature named Phyrexian Dragon Engine are attacking, and you both own and control them, exile them and meld them into Mishra Lost to Phyrexia. It enters the battlefield tapped and attacking, and it's a 9/9 with like some ridiculous stuff. I think it has some ETB triggers, but you're never gonna meld it. So basically, it's 3/5 for 4. When it attacks, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of attacking creatures. That's pretty good. I mean, draining them for 2 every turn while also getting in is like really good. I think this is an 8.
I have it at like a 6. It's boring. You're gonna play it. It's just whatever. I'm not crazy about it.
Ah, man, I kind of like this. It gives you the payoff right away, right? Whenever you attack each,
Yeah,
so you get it right away. That's pretty
No,
sweet.
you still have to attack. You don't get it. It's not like an
he doesn't
ETB
have
thing.
to attack
He
though.
doesn't
Your
have
other
to.
stuff has
The
to
other
Oh,
attack.
stuff, yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Huh.
This is really strong. This is an 8.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it at 6. That's
Like
not
you
bad.
just never lose the aggro versus aggro match with this guy on the top, right? Like you play this and you just won the game, right?
Well, yeah, and it's just so scary if you are an aggro deck and then you turn 4 play this. Your opponent's like, well, like I have to do something right now. Or I'm gonna lose the game
Yeah.
in like
Also,
a
this
turn.
guy is his butt's big enough. His toughness is big enough to just have him
Get
stick
in.
around on the field too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be hard to block.
Yeah, that's 8.
All right, that's our multicolors. Tune in to the
Alright.
next one for white.
Got it.
Get him.